we know that crypto is not going to be an island forever. It needs to interact with traditional systems. And the thought was that you could use the very flexible LLC structure in the US as a way to wrap a DAO. So we kind of thought about it at an academic level. It took some time for the tooling to get put in place. And then we began to operationalize this with the LAO, and some other teams began to operationalize it. A notable example there is Metacartel Ventures. And there were some earlier experiments too to kind of get this moving. Wyoming just recently passed a bill that kind of validated some of this approach. It basically enables you to set up a DAO. It's like a subclass of or subcategory of an LLC, which gives a lot of flexibility in terms of structuring these pooled investment vehicles. I don't think that structure works for everything. For content DAOs and maybe some of these larger open source protocol DeFi DAOs, you probably are going to need another structure. We are working on some structures related to that we think can work. And I think you'll hear a little bit more about that. The reason that these structures are best in class, number one, if there is a legal entity, you're able to handle basic things like tax and accounting. You can get a tax ID number. You can also manage risks related to pooling capital together and working together for a common purpose. Those risks include things like softening obligations related to fiduciary obligations, which are fancy legal words for heightened obligations that you have to other folks that you're working with. You can waive conflicts of interest if you need to, and you can kind of manage some downside risk, which I think people don't think about until everything goes sideways, and then they think about those types of risks quite a bit. So with a little upfront planning, you can kind of ensure that these projects are set up for the long run. And our hypothesis and our gut